Good evening, everybody. My name is Carrie Swarm, Chief Growth Officer for Urban Teachers. I'm so excited to present information about urban teachers. And hopefully, if you haven't already applied, that it will be encourage you to apply by our last two deadlines, March 27th and May 1st. So we'll jump right in. So at Urban Teachers, we really think that there's no more important education reform than teacher quality. Overall in the U.S. education system, by many measures, many people would say that it's failing to educate all of our children. American students rank 25th in math, 17th in science, and 14th in reading compared to students in 27 other industrialized countries. And then similarly, you could say that U.S. education system has especially failed to provide low-income children access to high-quality education. So this is a slide that shows you two data points of NAEP data. It's a nationally normed standardized test in fourth grade in both math and reading. And you can see that despite over time having improvements in achievement, there continues to be this really wide gap in achievement between those who are low income and those who have higher incomes. Student achievement is directly tied to teacher effectiveness. So compared to the average teacher, students taught by effective teachers gain 4.5 months of learning, while students taught by ineffective teachers lose 3.1 months. So that together, if you combine those, that could be as much as a 7.6-month gap in student achievement per year. Poor and minority students routinely have less effective teachers. So students at predominantly minority schools are much more likely to be taught by new teachers. And then similarly, core classes in high poverty and high minority secondary schools are also much more likely to be taught by out-of-field teachers. So at Urban Teachers, we're preparing a great teacher every time, and we're looking to ensure that all students succeed. We're preparing a pipeline of game-changing teachers that stay in the profession. The demand for urban teachers is growing. We now serve well over 500 residents and teachers, over 100 partners, and almost 20,000 students. This August, I should say we've been in DC and Baltimore since 2010, and this August 2016 we launched in Dallas-Fort Worth for the first time, and expect to expand to additional cities over the next couple of years. So this last summer, we invited 200 new residents to join us in Baltimore, DC, and Dallas-Fort Worth. 58% of those folks were people of color, 30% were local to their city placement, 3.3 average GPA, 38% were first-generation college graduates, and 38% entered straight out of undergrad. This is just a slide that shares our core values. We serve children, we are a team, we are each responsible for urban teachers' success. Our work can always get better. Our work gets better with data and feedback, and we live fun, full lives. The Urban Teachers model is sort of the 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1-year residency program, 2-year clinical coursework, that's your master's degree, and 3 years one-on-one coaching, followed by 4 years working in an urban school. I have another slide where I'll get into that in more detail. Our higher ed partner is Johns Hopkins School of Education. It's currently ranked number 2 in the country, according to U.S. News and World Report. And we have partnered with Urban Teachers. They have partnered with Urban Teachers for the conferral of the master's degree. And it's Urban Teachers that is approved in each of those states, Maryland, DC, and Texas, to do the certification. The degree that you receive from Johns Hopkins School of Ed is delivered in person by expert faculty, and this faculty also serve as your coaches. Urban Teachers is also an AmeriCorps affiliate program. So our cohort 2017 may be eligible for up to 2 years of AmeriCorps service. Participants may also be eligible for 2 Siegel AmeriCorps Education Awards that can be used towards the cost of tuition for the master's degree from Johns Hopkins School of Ed, or to pay down prior student loans. This is a benefit that's worth approximately $5,700 per year for a total over $11,000 over the first 2 years of our program. So this is the slide I like to spend a little bit of time on. So we'll start here with selection. We have an online application that you can apply on our website. We're looking for folks who will have their bachelor's degree by this June, or if you are a junior in college, you can apply for early decision along just doing the regular process with us. We do look for people with a GPA of a 3.0 minimum, although we can go down to a 2.75 for outstanding candidates, and have a little bit of wiggle room down to a 2.5 if you have a STEM background, STEM work experience, or have been paraprofessional or substitute with one of our school partners in DC or in Dallas-Fort Worth, not in Baltimore. We're looking for folks who are results-oriented, resilient, reflective, and committed to our program for 4 years. So if you're selected after the application, there's a digital performance task, and then a final interview. So if you're selected after that, you're invited to join us for your residency. And so that's a year-long residency where you work as a co-teacher, and is also, you finish probably 80% of your master's degree during that time. So you spend your time in the schools in the morning and then doing your graduate coursework in the afternoon into the evenings. There is strong accountability for urban teachers, so that's the white boxes there. You need to maintain a 3.0 GPA with grades of B or B- or higher. You have to meet teacher practice expectations and demonstrate high levels of growth mindset and professionalism. You also receive over 100 hours of one-on-one coaching over the first 3 years of the program. So that is significant support that you get from urban teachers. Year 2 is your first year as a teacher. You also earn your master's degree at the end of that second year by meeting those bars, continuing to maintain that high level of GPA, 3.0 or higher, grades of B- or higher. You also need to meet increasing teacher practice expectations. You need to demonstrate high levels of growth mindset and professionalism as well. And then year 3 is your second year as a teacher. This is when you earn your certification or license with urban teachers, and it is in at least 2 areas. And in Dallas-Fort Worth, you also get a third. So you can get it in elementary ed, in secondary English language arts, or secondary math. They all come with a second certification in special ed. And in Dallas-Fort Worth, there's also a certification in English as a second language. To get certified, though, in year 3, you have to demonstrate you can improve student achievement based on nationally normed tests. So we do pre and post tests with all the students that you work with over year 2 and year 3 in the program. So that is really unprecedented in the field to have that level of accountability. And then finally, we are looking for you to meet increasing teacher practice expectations, again, continuing the demonstrated high levels of growth mindset and professionalism. From there, you move on to year 4, the third year as a teacher. And many of our urban teachers participants take on leadership roles such as grade level team leads or department chairs or other roles with urban teachers like summer mentors, things like that. So there's lots of opportunity for folks at urban teachers as a teacher leader. I just have a couple data points. We do a lot of surveying of our stakeholders. So one of our surveys we did with our host teachers rated our residents' performance at 96%. 96% of our host teachers said urban teachers residents provide additional value to student learning. Our teachers are also highly satisfied with urban teachers' preparation. So 93% of our teachers said that urban teachers gave them the knowledge and skills to be an effective classroom teacher. I'm just skipping along here to our teacher practice rubric. So our teachers, as I mentioned sort of in that slide where I talked through the structure of our program, all of our coaching is based on the teacher practice rubric, and it's part of our accountability model as well. And so there is this rubric is very detailed. This is just the top level headings. And so you're moving to proficiency in each of those 5 areas. So we're looking to build productive and nurturing classroom environments. Our teachers, we're looking to make them master diagnosticians so that they really have a very big toolbox be able to assess students where they are, and then know how to set precise goals to enact them. We also are working towards helping you build to foster academic conversations to really improve the rigor of conversations between the teacher and the student, and then among students as well. We're also looking for our teachers to pursue continuous learning. This is a profession that you will always continue to learn, and that is how we set up our organization as well. Through Hopkins, we offer a Master's of Science in Education. There are 3 programs of study: secondary math, elementary ed, secondary English language arts. So you get to choose, you preference one of those 3 in your application. I mentioned the 3 years of coaching. So you get those 3 years over the first 3 years, and it is a little bit front-loaded, so 36 hours during your residency, first 36 hours during your first year, and then the remaining during your second year. This is a slide that shows you sort of visually how and where our residence time is used. So we do start our program in June with Summer Institute, that's Summer A, where you're co-teaching in a summer program and taking about 5 or 6 graduate courses. You move on to semester 1, you're co-teaching in a host teacher, with a host teacher classroom A, we call, and then in January you switch to a different host teacher. And then you end that residency year with a summer B, where you are a lead teacher in a summer program and actually get paid during that second year. The residency year is really designed to give you extensive practice. So you're getting over 1,500 clinical hours, but we're also about building your stamina so that after the residency year, you are ready to lead your classroom full-time, the whole class. So we do start out with a couple days of student teaching where you teach all subjects in October, again in December, 2 weeks in January, and building up to a 5-week spring summer student immersion where you're teaching all classes all the time. So again, building your stamina to take on your own class that following year. Certification is determined both as 40% are student gains from those nationally normed tests I mentioned before, 40% is teacher practice, and 20% is growth mindset and professionalism. So that's how we determine whether our folks get certified through our program. School placement, you can preference your city in our application, and you will get an offer. When you get an offer, it is for a specific city, and you can still choose DC, Baltimore, Dallas, Fort Worth. Notification of school placement occurs at the end of Summer Institute. We do start some of the matching remotely, but most of it happens during career fairs when you arrive on campus. You can also preference program of study, city, grade, and content area in your application, but we do for all of it say that we make no guarantees, and in fact, we really want our teachers to be very flexible. We make every attempt to place residents in pairs or in cohorts, place residents in early childhood, elementary, 612 literacy, and 612 math in Baltimore, DC, and now Dallas, Fort Worth. I wanted to spend just a little bit of time going over our costs. So what participants receive is a $20,000 stipend in the first year. They receive healthcare coverage through Johns Hopkins School of Ed. They also receive room and board for Summer Institute and all the books and materials for your master's degree. The tuition is $40,000. It is paid over the first 2 years in 4 equal installments so 4 bills of $10,000. So one in the fall, then the spring, then the fall, then the spring. You can get federal financial aid to cover those costs, and you are eligible for loan forgiveness after teaching for a minimum of 5 years, so 2 years beyond Urban Teachers Commitment. We also are an AmeriCorps program, as I mentioned before, and you can use Siegel Awards that you already have, or you can earn up to 2 with us as well. You can have 2 Siegel Ed Awards in a lifetime. That can be used for tuition. There's also the Teach Grant that you can earn up to 1 or 2 of those as well to really bring the costs down. The starting teacher salary range in Baltimore, DC, and Dallas-Fort Worth range from $42,000 to $52,000. They're some of the highest in the nation. And these cities really understand the value of a great teacher. And effective, experienced teachers can earn up to 6 figures in some cases. So very important for you to know and tell other people in your lives who have the misconception that teachers don't get paid well, and for sure the ones that are effective definitely can. So I talked a little bit about the leadership opportunities. So during the summer, you can be a co-teacher in a summer program. Second summer, you're already a lead teacher in a summer program. Third and fourth summer, you have opportunity at Urban Teachers to be a resident advisor, teaching assistant, or mentor teacher. There's also opportunities with partners of ours, such as Breakthrough Collaborative, to be instructional coaches and things like that. There are also opportunities during the school year. So we look to hire mentor teachers, host teachers. We also provide folks, particularly in our elementary program, the opportunity to get core intervention training. So that's training, science-based, research-based training for folks who miss, to help students who miss the opportunity to learn to read between the pre-K to second grade window. So it helps older students learn to read who might have missed that opportunity. And then our folks in our program, we in Baltimore and DC, actually, and Dallas, Fort Worth, have opportunities to be part of advisory boards that advise urban teachers in each of those cities. And we definitely, since we're in DC, there's lots of reform going on in Baltimore, in Dallas, Fort Worth, in Texas, that we definitely regularly connect folks to policy and advocacy opportunities to get to further expand your leadership opportunities very quickly. Since I don't have anybody on the call tonight, I have a couple stories from some of our alums. I have Adrian, who's a teacher leader in DC, who finished our program. She was one of our inaugural cohort. She's a GW graduate, George Washington graduate, who volunteered for DC Reads. This is sort of a well-known literacy program in the city. And then came our way and spent over 5 years teaching first graders, and has just, all at Center City Public Charter Schools, this charter management organization that's in the city, and just stepped out of the classroom to take on a role in central office in a curriculum writing position. So she also just joined our national board too as our first alum member. So we're excited to have her. Just skipping through here, I just wanted you to meet Avery. Avery is a graduate of Dillard University who worked with a program that was specific to Dillard that was helping low-income students in the New Orleans area get to college, and became really excited about that and interested in wanting to be a teacher, and joined our program in Baltimore and is now a first-year teacher there, finishing up his residency last year. There's a 3-step application process, as I mentioned before. There's an online application at urbanteachers.org, our website. We also have a digital performance task where you record yourself answering some questions, as well as doing some writing tasks. So that's pretty easy for folks to do. And then finally, there is a final interview in person or virtually. We have many options in our 3 sites in major cities around the country, and then are happy for folks to do virtual interviews as well. There are, one of the things we developed this year is a free online Praxis Core math course and a free online PACT math course. That's for Texas. So to help folks interested in joining our program or just really entering the teaching field, that these are free opportunities for you to gain skills to pass the test. We launched the Praxis one in January, and already had folks who took advantage of those resources and have now passed the test. So that's exactly what we wanted. So if you're interested in those, please take advantage of that. Passing the Praxis Core is required for DC Baltimore. Passing one of the PAC tests, there are 3, depends on what program of study you are looking to do, depending on which PAC test you take. But we have 2 math modules. One is for the EC6 math portion. So that's the early childhood elementary. And also we have modules for the math PAC test for grades 7 through 12. So we hope that will help folks pass those as well. So we have 2 more application deadlines, March 27th and May 1st. We certainly hope that you work quickly and definitely try to apply before March 27th, because we have probably 10 more final interview days in March. that you can take advantage of, and we would want you to, so that you can still do before even hitting our March 27th deadline. So we'd love for folks to get in the queue for those. Just moving on. So that's it. So I hope that was helpful. My email is there. If you have any questions, I am happy to share any. I'm happy to have set up a call or with anyone who has any questions that I can help you with. All right. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I hope that was helpful. Hopefully you'll apply soon. Thanks.